This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets!
Morning. A lot of silence. If you want to come up and talk about this mess, which it is, it's beyond the mess. Please do. Anybody first that wants to go, because I'm not going. Man, it's like the Jets in here. It's lifeless. Here we go, Maddie. What's up, Maddie?
Petey, good morning.
What's going on? I'm here.
Monday morning. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, except in Jets land, but listen, whatever, man. It's not the end of the world.
I think our season died 3 weeks ago, not yesterday. So I don't really care. I wasn't really that like upset about it.
Patty, actually, I was more upset after the Pittsburgh game, to be honest.
I think it died at the on the Buffalo game, but I don't think yesterday didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, they should have beaten Buffalo. They were the better team that day. They didn't, and that's that.
Were they the better team yesterday?
Absolutely not. They would have lost that game by 10 if Drake May had played. Like they were getting abused in that game. They had, if the Pats had like one or two receivers that could catch the ball, we would have lost that game by 20. It would have just been domination.
Hey yo, Petey, we came for war this morning, so y'all better put on y'all gear.
Well, Jeff fans are going first, so.
I bet they are. That's fine.
Would you
just
premeditate
letting you know,
this?
I'm letting you know we came for war this morning, so get your troops ready.
That's fine. Go win a Super Bowl. You guys got all the tools.
All right, hold
now.
on. Do I need to start by smashing up the Bills before I can actually talk about the Jets? Is that really what we got to do?
Sure.
Because look, it's congratulations, it's great. Do the same thing you do every year, which is win the division and then piss down your leg in the playoffs. Just do it. Just do it again. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. The Jets have jet problems.
We came for war this morning.
You know what happens every year, dude. Every year it happens. So look, man, if you want to shut me up, go win in the playoffs. Go win a title. It's easy. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at your franchise. Okay, now can I talk about the Jets?
Sure, Mark.
Look, I posted something in the Jumbotron that Jet fans should see because we need to talk about Robert Saleh. And we need to talk about the firing midseason, and we need to talk about Woody Johnson. So with the firing of Robert Saleh, the Jets defense is much, much worse. I ran the numbers, and they were second overall with Robert Saleh as the head coach. They've fallen somewhere now between 26th and 30th in the league on defense over the last two games. Like, I'm sorry. If you want to wreck your season, I hate doing this, but if you were a fan that was in favor of firing Robert Saleh midseason, like, I hope you stub your toe on the fucking nightstand this morning, dude. I hope that a waitress just puts too much salt in your food, like, for a week. Because I'm sick of... Look, what more evidence do you need that this was the wrong move at the wrong time? And now it's time to start talking draft talk. Start talking selling off pieces. It's time to start talking about head coaching candidates. It's time to talk about all this other nonsense. And your owner... The owner put us here, guys. And let me tell you something. If the owner was dumb enough, if he was moronic enough to listen to fan outcry to fire the coach midseason, I'm sorry, man. This guy purchased the team. He did not earn this position. Okay? He wasn't suddenly... He does not deserve my respect as an owner. He bought the shit. He didn't earn the job of being the owner of the team. And now we're also... And then they have the gall to raise ticket prices. All right. Listen, I'm a fan. I'm watching every game. All right. I'm telling you whether or not you want to hear what my opinion is on all this shit that's going on. But look, the evidence is plain as day. This team is worse on defense without this head coach. That's it. Look, you fired the head coach. You fired the head coach before a battle for first place against Buffalo. And what was supposed to happen? That was supposed to provide a spark. Immediately. Suddenly the roster was supposed to get unlocked. You know why? Because this was a battle for first place. Instead, you just basically flushed the season down the toilet. With you overrode Joe Douglas and decided to fire the head coach. And they found a way to shoot themselves in the foot. And now we're watching games where they're just shooting themselves in the foot week after week. I mean, look, the Patriots played a game. I'm not shitting on the Patriots. That's fine. That's not what this is about. Come on, dude. The Jets lost Drake. You beat that same team 24-3. Earlier in this, Robert Saleh beat that team 24-3 earlier in the season. And now we had to watch Ulbrich and company go to Foxborough and embarrass themselves. And folks will hang it on Zerline. They'll hang it on Rodgers. They'll just hang it on all kinds of stuff. Lots of fingers to point. My fingers pointed at Woody. That's it.
Imagine being last in the division on a 5-game losing streak, telling the Bills that they're going to piss down their leg in the playoffs.
We do it every year.
I've been asking the Jets to get to 8 wins on a damn season for what, 7 years now? You can't
Sean,
even
you
get to
do
8
it every
wins.
year.
No. We're
Only
talking
three
about
on
the
this
Jets.
Every year.
We're talking about the Jets. The Jets, a team that is a mess. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the Buffalo Bills, who lead the division by 4 games after week 8.
We just
We're not
talked
talking
about
about the Bills.
So, Lee
We're
Sean,
talking
then why
about
do you
the
have
Jets.
Then why do you have to come in here and do that? You think I would do that to you guys?
The only reason I'm doing it, Petey, is
it's
because we
disrespectful.
had to. Can I talk? The only reason I'm doing it, Petey, I've been showing you guys grace and laying off of you loss after loss after loss. But it comes to a point where all the shit y'all talked all season, all summer, all the shit, the Bills with the Legion of Twos and betting us that we're going to lose the division and all the shit we had to put up with all fucking off season. At some point, it comes to a head, and I gave Bills Mafia the mission statement that we are crashing this space today. So I want to apologize in advance because it comes to a...
Well, Lee Sean, respectfully, if you got to do that, I'm not having it. So, I'll set up a space after this. I'll tell you what, I will do it after this. I'm not changing what I do in here.
I can't believe this bullshit.
I will set up a space after it. You can co-host with me, and we'll do it together. Not here, though. I got something going on here for 2 hours that I do every day, and we need to do the Jets first.
Did that man just say it comes to a point? What type of bullshit is that, Lee Sean?
Go ahead. I'm not doing this in here. And by the way, whoever makes takes, whether it's Jet fans, other fans, if you insult, you're out of here. Because we're going to be doing this for the next 9 weeks. The Jets got 10 games left. Listen, I'm definitely going to be going at Mark for certain things because I think Mark is wrong about certain things. But
Petey, we're all cool. Most of us are boys. Nobody's insulted anybody.
No, I know. I'm just setting the standard, Lee Sean. I know you're good.
But Petey, my team, coming off of being one of the best teams in football the past 5 years, we have dominated this damn division. And right or wrong, Petey, your fan base talks so much shit to my fan base leading up to the season, right or wrong.
But what if this shit don't make sense? It doesn't. Listen. It doesn't make sense because we're in the same division. We're in the same division. What do you expect? This is what we do. But you it's like you taking this like personally.
No. I'm not. I expect when you talk all that shit to be able to come to the front of the congregation and get laughed at and get clowned at.
I'll do it.
Make no sense what you just said.
Let me say something,
I don't
please.
expect.
And then I want to get to the Jet fans.
Well, he called out Legion of Twos. I want to call out my
fine.
comment. I called your wide receiver core in the offseason a Legion of Twos. All right. And look, if it wasn't a Legion of Twos, why did you add Amari Cooper? You got better. It was the right move to do it, and now you're trying to make a run and you got better. I stand behind what the fuck I said about your team. It's fine. But I'm here to talk about the Jets and what just happened and what they have to do next. And I'm trying to hold certain opinions accountable. So that's that. And if you don't like, you can laugh all you want.
There's a ton of
Jet
Jet
Amari
fans,
Cooper,
Mark.
answer my question.
Guys, next off season, don't talk
Are
shit.
you in Seattle, by the way?
Because when we come to collect, it's mute in the space. We don't want to hear about the Bills. Why are you taking this personally?
Mute in the space?
You guys talked a lot more shit than
you guys will be
base
in Miami with us
You
in the second week of the playoffs.
No.
Y'all know y'all ain't winning the Super Bowl.
Sir, you are
Let him go real quick.
you are
Let him
2-6. I need you to mute up.
Who
Okay?
cares? Y'all have zero Super Bowls. Y'all do the same
base,
shit every year. Y'all like Dallas Cowboys recently.
Petey, I'm talking to you, Petey. The man, the
Yes.
reason your fan base talk more shit to the Bills than the Bills talk shit to the Jets, which blew my mind. So,
I agree.
Okay, I'm glad you agree with me. So what I want to do is put one of your fucking heads on a wall to let you know, don't do this shit next offseason. Don't do it next offseason.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be the same result. When you see the Buffalo Bills, show us some respect. This is our shit. I've been telling you.
What's
This
the
is
point
our
of
What
liking
type of
football if you don't
bullshit
talk
is
shit?
All
this,
right.
man?
Yo.
Enough with this. They're in a jet
Yeah.
space.
Yes, I got it.
That's
They're
not
in a
loud.
jet space. They forget that.
Buckeye, you go, because I want to get there's 7
These
hands
Bills
up here.
fans forget they're in a jet space. This is a jet space.
Oh, there go Jim. Jim, he was talking mad shit. Hey, Jim, how's it going, buddy?
It's going as usual.
Hey,
This is a jet space, though.
Is.
You guys come here. We don't go there.
Okay. Yeah, I
You're
know
here
you don't
every
come.
day.
I know you don't
wait,
come to our spaces.
Jim.
Because you guys won't let me talk.
Jim.
That's for sure.
Jim,
here
I
we
go
go.
there.
You go.
All right, guys, please, okay? Let me get to the Jet fans. Jim, I will get to you. LeSean, I'm not trying to back my take. I didn't think the Jets would win the division this year. So I was right. I don't give a shit.
Man,
Who
fuck
cares?
Buffalo Bills.
I don't care. Yeah, but I don't care if I'm right or wrong. But Jet fans want to vent today. I will set up a space with you, LeSean, gladly, and me and you can host or co-host. I'll do it with you. I will fucking let you scream, whatever. Let me get to these guys. Buckeye, go ahead. Buckeye, you there? Morning.
Sorry, it was a delayed mute. Mark, and then again, I just want to ask, like, conversation. Did Ulbrich call the defense or Salah call the defense?
When you talking about
When
before
Salah was
or
head
now?
coach, who called the defense?
Well, it was said that it was. I'm sorry, you said Mark.
It was
You said it
Ulbrich.
was Mark. My bad. I know that.
I don't know if Mark stepped away.
No,
Mark,
I'm still here.
Mark did.
No, Ulbrich, he
No,
knows. Ulbrich had the call.
So,
And Salah helped with the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
so if again, and I'm not saying you're wrong because the stats show when Salah left the building. I think the bigger thing was who the building was left to, right? Like the building was left to his brass, his Keith Carter, his Jeff Ulbrich, his Jeff Hackett, his Todd Downing. Like they made a change, but they didn't make a change. Like that, that's like a huge issue.
Yeah, there's no leadership.
Dude,
Can I provide the
Jeff
counterpoint?
Ulbrich was always a product of Robert Saleh. Remember when Ulbrich in the beginning, everybody wanted him gone, and then Robert Saleh probably made changes to the whole defense.
But we have to follow through that Keith Carter is a product of Robert Saleh and Jeff Hackett is a product of he was the head coach. He created this, he hired this, that was his staff.
I don't think Robert Saleh wanted Hackett here. And I don't think Keith Carter maybe, but I don't think he wanted Hackett here. I think he would have rather kept Mike LaFleur, but then you had, people up top telling him what to do.
I hear your point, Buckeye, and often I hear, I'm going to give you the solution. I'm not just going to present the problem and say there's a problem and not present a solution. All right, because we hear that. Because now we're going to start hearing clarion calls to fire Joe Douglas and wholesale calls to basically clean house and the rest of it. But most folks will do that, but it's not. They're just presenting a problem and not really giving the solution. I think the solution this year was instead of firing Robert Saleh when they did, was to change the play caller, which happened anyway. You change the play caller, you keep Saleh in place, you keep Ulbrich in place, you keep the defense ranked 2, and then you fix the other problems. If you have to yank the kicker, you yank the kicker. But the truth is, and look, the kicker's going to get a lot of shit today. That's for sure. And rightly so. But why are these games so close that we have to shit on the kicker? You know what I'm saying? Like this team, NFL analysts said this team had massive football talent in the offseason. We're talking one of the best rosters in football. To the point where now we're looking at a sell-off. And I saw a tweet this morning, the Jets should sell off their talent. And they listed 8 players. I'm like, these are really good
Yeah, you
players.
can't. Yeah, you can't, Mark. There's no way you could trade 8 people. Has this ever been done in football? There's no way.
And Mark, you
There's
may
no
you
Well, you're
may
in a
be
way.
right,
position to
but
do that when you have good
you may be
players.
right.
I'm sorry,
And
go
I
ahead.
see all these
Correct.
hands. I want to keep it moving. Here's the thing, though. What did Robert Saleh achieve for him to get the benefit to change the OC twice and all these interchangeable things, right? Like he used Zach Wilson as the pawn to say no one wins with a backup quarterback. Then he gets like, where was his runway of excuses for his own accountability? Like that's the issue. And I think what I'm seeing most on this team, we have a team of no accountability. And I think that was trained and learned from that guy. I honestly feel the no accountability thing. Sauce just looking around the field every time he misses and does something wrong. You know, this guy pouting and that guy, like the accountability was not taught and came from that guy. And he brought in a brass
Yep.
of no accountability guys.
Buckeye,
Yeah. Yeah.
can I just jump in here? Because Rodgers started with that this year with the accountability. Like the Candons, it all started with that Candon shit.
Yeah.
However you say it. You
Yeah.
recall that? And then Rodgers mentioned accountability. I agree with it. I just didn't think it should have
That's
happened in
fair. That's
season.
fair.
He should have been gone. They should have did it in the off season. So it's just a mess.
There's a
It's a
lot of hands.
mess.
So I'll
Yeah, Brady, I'll get you up. Hold on. Let Terrence go because he's going to work. Guys, just be quick. There's 8 hands up, please. Go ahead. Terrence.
I'm here. It just was listening so long, the screen faded. Yeah. So look, I kept a low profile this year. I just wanted to enjoy the games and then, hope that we made the playoffs and just savor it like I used to. I don't remember when I used to because it was so long ago. But before social media, let's just say, and it's a disaster. And I guess Woody Johnson thought the problem was the head coach and that the team would rally behind Ulbrich, and that's not happening. And I agree with what Buckeye just said. It's rotten to the core because of the coaches that Salah had hired, whether Douglas and Johnson pressured them into getting some of these guys after LaFleur left, whatever it is. But basically, there's nobody on this staff that's getting to these guys. That's why instead of a shot in the ass, we're 0-3 since Salah left. So to me, it's over. I've said it was over a couple of weeks ago because I just did, even if we had won, I just still didn't see how this team squeaks out 9 victories playing the way that it did yesterday. And Rodgers doesn't look great. He connected with Garrett Wilson in the first half. If he had connected properly, Garrett Wilson could have just caught the ball, went right into the end zone, but he didn't. And the same thing with that nice pass in the fourth quarter. Garrett Wilson had to slide to kind of catch it. Now it was in between 2 cornerbacks, so give him credit. Zach Wilson couldn't have thrown that ball probably, but the bottom line is, Rodgers doesn't look like he is. And a year from now, he'll look even worse because he'll be 41 going on 42. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, let's tank. I'm not doing that. But what I would say is, the owner, which we will never get rid of, don't know anything about football. And I just don't know who they're going to bring in next year that's going to make this better. I know there will be people like me and other people who will be optimistic, a new regime, a new attitude. But I do feel bad for the Jet fans and with LeSean listening because, we are tired of being the doormat. We were hoping that we could compete. And that's what you do. You go to the guy that's, you go to the king of the mountain and then you try to take them down. And for 3 years, we've been trying to do that and we've been unsuccessful and woefully so. 7-10 and 7-10. And we'd be lucky if we get to 7 wins this year. So it's very disappointing. A lot of fans are upset. We were promised a lot of things. We were hoping that Rodgers would be able to rekindle some of the magic that he had 3-4 years ago. It doesn't look like it. I don't know if it's because of the Achilles injury last year or it's just he's 40 years old going on 41 and he's still an adequate quarterback, but we're still only scoring low 20s or sometimes high teens, which is what we were getting last year. And this defense is soft. Like, how did Sauce let that guy make a move on him on that third down play where he got to the 10-yard line? Where has he been all year? Then that's where the coaching comes in, because we know these guys are talented. But 1 week it's Garrett Wilson letting the ball hit off his shoulder pad. Another week it's like Breece Hall can't find a hole to get anywhere. Another week, and it seems like more consistently, Sauce Gardner is, whether it's a penalty, whether like he can't tackle somebody, he's soft in that regard. And I just think a new coaching staff and a new regime would probably bring a little bit more out of him. And if they can't, then it's time for him to go too and get as many draft picks as we can in the future. But that's it. Other people have more to say, but it's a disaster. Thanks.
Yep. And listen, I just don't think they're going to trade 5, 6, 7 people.
Yeah, not in a week.
Yeah,
You're talking about over the course of like 2 years, because you got these young kids.
Correct.
Got these young kids that are in their third year, so they figure, a new regime is going to figure out, first of all, there's going to be a new system. Can they play in it? And also, over the course of, between now and next year, they're going to find out who they want to keep and who they don't want to keep, provided these guys have some ability and have a plan. And it's not going to be the same thing for 25 years with Woody Johnson bringing in these guys that we're always optimistic about. And then 3-4 years later, we're upset and they're dumping it and we're hitting the reset button. Thanks.
Yep. I don't know who's next. Maybe, I think it's either Anthony or Charles. One of you guys, just go. If I'm out of order,
go ahead, Charles. I'll go after Charles.
Thank you, gents. Hey, at the end of the day, firing Salah was the right move, but obviously it didn't make the team better because all the underlying coaches that are still there, there's not a guy in the building who's any better than him. And it's clear, Olbrook's a nice guy and a decent D coordinator, but it's obvious he's in over his head and he doesn't improve us from when Salah was there. But my opinion, if Salah was still there, we'd be in the same boat, basically, and maybe a little bit more coordination. It looks like they're down a guy, coaching-wise now. Just a person, whether that person's even good or not, because Salah wasn't, it was probably helpful to have that additional person in the building based on the fact that the people who got elevated are not any better than he is. So you rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic, and the ship continues to sink. And I'm not going to go over and over what needs to be done, but I'd like to see Joe Douglas fired this morning because there's no purpose of having him. Start looking for a GM to prepare for next year's draft. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Guys, just go make your takes, and your points. And again, you're not going to get shouted down in here.
No.
I want to hear from you guys, and Mark and I and June will comment, but we want to talk too. So let's just get everybody in here.
No, yeah, just real quick, Petey. Yesterday.
The problem if you fire Joe Douglas, who's going to make deals in the next week or two?
Hold on, Jim.
Can you hear you? Can you hear me, Jim? Or
I don't. I see Jim as a listener. Jim, drop and come back. Yeah. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, listen. I don't even have words anymore. It's just another failed season before Halloween. I really thought this team was gonna be different. Just like the rest of anybody else here. But they just can't overcome what's in front of them every week. So, to me, nobody should show up to that stadium on Thursday night just to make a point. That's what I think personally. But nobody's gonna do that. Everyone's gonna go, or I hope it's half empty. To be honest, at least. Why waste your time? This team doesn't even make football enjoyable. I mean, you know how long this season's gonna be? We have 10 more weeks of this shit. It's gonna feel like an eternity. But
Actually, throw the buy-in too.
yeah,
So
this
Levin,
season's gonna feel like an eternity. It's gonna be a slow burn. So just get used to it. It's only gonna get worse from here, fellas. Um, you know, I wish
so what? Ant, what are you thinking? 4 wins this year?
probably 6. Like just, I mean, it amazes me. Like every year they do the rebuild, the reset.
Yep.
They can't even be good by accident. Like just they can't stumble.
Well,
They can't
Ant,
even stumble into
yeah,
something good, like just by
Ant, this is
accident.
what's going to happen. Like me and you, or let's just put me and you in the equation. Like we're going to disagree now whether I think they should lose out or you think they should win out, or vice versa. It's going to be all this stuff again. It's the same old Jets,
Petey, for
guys.
the
Same old
sake of the
Jets.
franchise, it's better if they lose, to be honest. And I hate
Thank you.
saying that, to be honest. I
Th-
don't want to root for losses.
But
That's not who I am as a
right,
fan. But it's
right.
better for the
You're right.
franchise.
But you know that they're going to
What are they
win
going to win? They
games that
can't
they
beat the
get.
worst team in the league, Petey. What are they
But they're
winning?
going to jet. They're going to jet. That's what they do.
Stop thinking they're going to win, dude. It's not. They're not going to win
I'm
shit.
not. It's not a false sense of bravado, Anthony. You know they're going to win a game that they're not supposed to, because that's what they do.
Okay, they're going to lose
every year.
They're going to lose this week. They got to go against the West Coast. They're going to lose. They're going to lose that game too. They'll probably split with the Dolphins. Maybe they'll beat the Colts. That's it. They're going to lose to the Seahawks. They're going to lose to they're going to lose to the Rams for sure. Maybe 4 wins, Petey. That's it.
Okay. And if you're right, good for you.
But for this team, it's best if they lose, get a top 5 pick, take another swing at a quarterback at this point.
See, that's the thing, Petey. Look, I'm with you, Petey, man. You've been right all the way from the beginning. I was that guy that was on some 12-5 shit and all that stuff, and you kept saying, "Well, I think we might be second or third." I think you was always kind of like loom and gloom a little bit, but you were fucking right. And people that say,
Charles, I
listen,
don't
Petey,
care,
Petey,
Charles.
wait,
But go
Petey.
ahead. Yeah,
People
I'm
that
going to mute.
people
Sorry.
say, okay, well, let's lose. We can't even do that properly. So just watch the fucking this debacle and just it is what it is. Everybody wants to point fingers at individuals and shit like that. You can just point fingers at everybody in this motherfucking damn facility. Like everyone, GM, owner, players, fucking coaches, everyone is just a shit show. It's just a fucking shit show, and we gotta sit and watch it, and it just is what it is. You either gonna be a Jet fan or you're not. Peter, you on point? Bruh, I was totally fucking wrong. I was totally wrong. And it's showing every fucking Sunday. It's like we're cursed. It's like we're fucking cursed. And I don't know how
really?
I don't know how to put it.
No, honestly, that's the only explanation at this point. That's what it feels like. But I mean, like I said, it's going to be a slow burn. It's only going to get worse, especially Roger's got to go on that McAfee show every Tuesday. So
Nobody had a problem with him before this.
And no one had a problem with no one. I would take. I would.
Did I say that?
I would.
No.
I
It
would.
just seems like
You know they're gonna, bro. All right, we'll get into this as the season goes on. But for 1 second, I don't think Woody Johnson is gonna. I don't think he's gonna completely blow it up. I think he's gonna run it back. He needs people in the seats.
He told you. He came on motherfucking camera during a press conference and said he feels like this is the best constructed roster that he ever had. So what do you think he's going to do? Like literally, when a man comes out and say something like that, do you think he's just going to blow it up?
Petey, could I just say one more thing, then I'll shut up?
Sure.
Because I know you got a lot of hands. But everybody complaining about the coaching staff, that they didn't bring any coaches in or whatever, the offensive line coach and all these other guys. Who were they going to bring in? They knew Saleh was in a lame duck year. Nobody was going to come here and coach with this this roster because they knew if they didn't make it, everyone was going. So they
Dude,
couldn't get any quality coaches to surround anywhere else.
100%.
that's
You
a
you
fact.
had to blow this up at the end of last
right.
year.
Yep.
So to think that everybody's complaining about the coaching, that's the main problem and why they didn't have any good position coaches.
Of course.
So
We knew that. Like Mark and I and all of us talked
but
about how
everyone's
bad Keith
complaining
Carter
about
was.
Keith Carter and all this
But,
and whatnot. But
and
that's the
can I finish
facts.
my
Yeah,
point,
because
brother?
he was allowed to come back with the rest of them. That's the frustration.
Right. Hackett, we all knew Hackett was a disgraceful play caller. I couldn't stand it. But there's nothing I could do anymore but complain. What we see, Woody listens to us. Look at what he did. He hears it. But what can we do? There's nothing we could do. He's not selling the team. People could say boycott the shirts, don't buy anything, don't buy tickets. It's all I said it yesterday. The TV contract is billions of dollars. They don't even need to sell tickets. Look at what they did in COVID. And they still made a fortune. They didn't even need people in the stands.
Pete,
They're not selling the team.
Woody
He's
Johnson
not.
will never choose to sell the team, and we know that because when you watch One Jets Drive in the draft room, who's in there? His family. Dude,
His youngest son.
It's a family asset. I'm at the point now where I'm praying for a Dan Snyder level of malfeasance from fucking Woody Johnson, where he's forced to turn over the reins to somebody. Like that's how bad it's gotten. He doesn't know what he's doing, dude. And then so long as he's the owner, I don't know that they're ever going to get it right. Sorry, we have hands. Good.
Yeah, guys. Mark, I want to talk too. So I mean, listen, guys, I could put everybody. I'm not saying this to be like a jerk off, and I usually don't do this. I could keep me, June, and Mark up here. Like I want everybody to talk, but I want to make points. I am as frustrated as anybody with this team. It sucks. Okay. I don't know what to do. I wonder if people are saying to themselves, why am I still a Jeff fan? I'm sure there are people. Can I quit? Can I go to a different team? It's that bad.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it is. It is. Really.
It is. I'm just trying. And guys, I'm just trying to relate to fans, man. I love doing this shit. And I appreciate you guys coming in. But man, this is rough.
But Petey,
this is worse than last year.
I said it before. We had Josh McCown as a starter going in 1 year, and it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even this bad, I should say.
Yep. Marcus, go ahead. And then we'll keep it moving. Sorry, guys. We'll get everybody in. Just be quick, guys, please.
I just wanted to bring up who's going to be the coach next year. I know I've seen a lot of people want a young, offensive-minded guy. I think the team needs like a variable. I just think he's going to bring the discipline and culture we need versus going with someone who's a first-time head coach to end up being another Adam Gase experience. Like that's just the Jets' luck that Ben Johnson will become Adam Gase. We need somebody who's established, who could set a good foundation for some type of culture. Even though he's a defensive mind, I think he just brings the energy and the blue-collar kind of feel that we need in New York.
I agree with that take. I mean, it was a head scratcher when they fired him. I guess the only requirement I would have is that they need to get a young gun OC that's like a talented. I don't want to see another defensive-minded head coach be hamstrung by bad play calling on the offensive side of the ball.
But I also don't want to see another Adam Gase situation. The dude get here and then it's not what we thought it was. It's this.
Well, Marcus, hold on. Mark, what about if this guy decides to run it back? Johnson, Woody.
Pete, all we know is if there's at this point where I am with Woody, if there's a bad decision to be made, Woody's going to make it. Like
right,
I'm
Mark,
so out on that guy. Forget it.
Mark, yes, Mark. Let me just make this point, and you're right. But what if he decides to run it back? They have like $50 million by the time they trade everybody, like people want to do. It's going to be all this dead money's accelerated. Yes, they're going to have all these draft picks. Okay. But then what if he doesn't do that? Then what? You have to bring somebody in here that is a veteran guy. You can't bring in a first-time guy. You can't.
You need listen if you're going to
and Charles, he's going to mess that up too. You know
as far
it.
as I'm concerned, what they should do and what they will do, it doesn't normally align. But you want to keep Joe Douglas through the trade deadline, that's fine. After that, there's absolutely no reason to have him in the building in a losing season. Just can his ass, find a GM and hire him, and let that person start looking towards who the prospective head coaching candidates are next year. Evaluate the roster, who should stay, who should go, cap moves, etc. But you're wasting time if you don't get rid of the GM in a week.
Well, and they ruined all the draft capital already too.
Well, how did it ruin the draft capital?
Well, they traded for Adams and they traded for Reddick. I mean,
all right. All right, that's a pick. All right, Ann, I'm not like
Reddick is a 2026 pick.
Yeah, that's a 2026 pick. He's not hitting his incentives. So that's a third rounder. And then what? It's a third. Adams isn't making the Pro Bowl with this team. So his thing isn't going up.
Let me just, I'll say my piece and then I'll drop us something.
Go ahead, Jim.
Number one, I know Mark's killing Woody Johnson. Again, when the Johnsons hired Joe Douglas, it was applauded by basically everybody in the NFL. He hired Saleh, top, hot coordinator, when he was hired. It didn't work out. Saleh was a bad coach, deserved to be fired. Unfortunately, his staff that he handpicked is worse than him. Everybody's underachieving. They have no heart in the friggin' locker room. I was a Joe Douglas supporter, but if he goes, he goes. I'm not going to cry about it. I don't know if you get Ben Johnson or, Vrabel, Aaron Glenn. Again, you keep swinging until you hit it, and that's what you got to do.
Aaron Glenn, the former great Jet.
As far as Bills fans, talking shit, there is nothing you guys can say to Jets fans that are going to remotely bother us. It's like we've seen it. I've tweeted multiple seasons. The Jets lead the league in wasted seasons. This is just another one. It's just another one. We'll be back next year when the hope is there and all this stuff. But you guys, enjoy the division. You're gonna win it. You'll be in the playoffs again. But there's nothing you can say to Jets fans that we haven't already been through it. There's no insult you can do. Like we're living it. We live in it for a long time. So I don't know if you fire Joe Douglas before the trade deadline. I don't know how many people you trade, but you should trade a couple people. There's got to be a couple people on this roster that teams want. You're not going to trade, all the guys, obviously, but there's not a name that I wouldn't listen to if I'm the Jets. And, away we go. Unfortunately, this year, you don't have a young quarterback to watch. So that's actually what's brutal. Like the most brutal thing about it is you just got to suffer through, Aaron Rodgers or Tyrod Taylor, which that sucks. You have no young guy to watch and hope for. So that's what makes the season even, more brutal. We just keep going down this road. The kicker thing I said should have been gone. You keep someone to call the plays on defense. He takes it on himself. There are certain things you shouldn't do. You should know that's a lot to do. Just focus on being the head coach. Delegate somebody to call the plays on defense, but he doesn't do that, and the defense is worse. It's just, guys just don't do simple things to make their life easier, their jobs easier. Players that shouldn't be on this team are on this team and just fucking up all year. And we wonder why we're 2-6. That's why we're 2-6.
He's not going to sell off during the season, by the way. He's not going to have season ticket renewals to the season ticket holders and sell off at the same time. He's a businessman first. He's not doing that.
It won't be a sell-off, but Mike Williams will be gone probably, and he should. And maybe another guy or two, but none of the high-profile guys are getting dumped.
Fair. Absolutely.
Yep. Who's next? I think it's Brian and then Office and Mauricio.
Thanks, Petey.
Mauricio.
I'm going to say this. I mean, Woody Johnson's no Mr. Hess. I'm not saying sell off the players.
Mr. Hess wasn't any good either, though, to be honest with you.
But he's better than Woody. I mean, at least you had a team in '98.
But what is that saying?
It's not
Brian?
saying much. But let me just get to, because it's not really about Woody. And I'm not saying selling off players, but Sauce showed his true colors. That guy's not an all-pro. There's a lot of great DBs that were Hall of Famers, all-pros that played on bad teams. Darryl Green is one of them, and many others that I can name. This guy is so soft. I should call him applesauce. He a player that wants to propel himself even around where things are falling apart. That's a great player. This guy cannot tackle. This guy just is not a ball hog. He's just, I don't even think, even if you brought in good coaching for him, he's jet exposed. I'm not saying to sell him off, and I don't think he would, but you guys at this particular time could get a first and second rounder for him because people need him, and maybe it's somewhere else a coach could mold this kid. The second thing, Zerline.
But Brian, if you're saying, wait, no, Brian, I want to comment on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
If you're saying he's going to he's jetting and all that, why would somebody give up a first and second round pick?
Because they think
you're saying
their coaches maybe could mold this kid. Maybe they have a different take on him. Maybe he just has to get out of that environment and he could propel to maybe his potential. That's all I'm saying. I just think, where he is now, when he can stick around as a Jet and you've already established the bar for his play. I just don't. I was very disappointed what I saw with Sauce yesterday. And Zerline has to go. You just can't keep that cancer around. I don't care, trade or whatever. The guy should just be gone. I mean, he cost you guys 3 games.
What's the difference anymore, though? Brian, what's the difference anymore?
Yeah.
Well, if you just want to see a kicker miss extra points, then keep blowing games
they
for
waited
you. That's
to,
fine.
They waited
I don't
to
care.
this point. I'd rather, again, if people are about tanking, keep Zerline. That's the easy tank. Let him.
Well, I guess so, because this guy is
Brian, to be fair with the comment about Zerline being a cancer, I mean, the guy barely even speaks. I wouldn't go to that extreme, but he's got to go.
I mean, yeah, I'm saying a cancer as far as
a cancer of a lock.
Not a cancer of the locker room. I'm just talking his skills.
I'm just trying to say a point here. All I'm saying is Greg Zerline's attitude, like Sauce's attitude of the bravado and all that, to me is a red flag. It is. Zerline isn't even on that. But guy barely speaks. They got to get rid of him, though. He costed them 3 games. He did.
Yeah, he cost you guys.
That's
3
all,
games.
Brian. I'm not trying. Brian,
I
I respect your takes. I'm just, trying to get on here.
Yeah. He just cost you 3 games, and I would never put that guy in an all-pro. He showed me something yesterday that he's just applesauce. He's mush.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
guys. I got to rotate people. You're welcome. I got to rotate people, so don't take it personal. There's requests. I see you guys in here. Thank you. And listen, there's comments about Bill's space and all that. Listen, I let everybody in the space, okay? I'm not going to throw people out and all that stuff, okay? I've developed some pretty good relationships on here with other fan bases. So I'll do me, you guys, if you want to comment and help, give me some ideas. Okay. I think this community and other people that do spaces know what they're doing, so start your own room. There's plenty of room for everybody. Whoever does spaces now knows how to run rooms,
Let's stop defending
it.
We do a fine job.
Yeah.
That's what we're told. So let's just keep it going.
Yep. Office, you're next. And then Joe Jet and Maurizio and Joe Jet.
Good morning, fellas. Appreciate the call up, Petey. I just wanted to say, brother, you guys are allowed to love the name on the front of the jersey and fight for that. You don't have to necessarily fight for all the names on the back of the jersey if they don't want to fight for themselves. But keep fighting for the Jet name, man. Stay positive some way or another, man. And I just wanted to give you all a little bit of motivational encouragement, man. I love what y'all do about your football team. They just got to want to do it for themselves. But I'll jump back down and just listen. So I hope y'all have a good Monday morning one way or another.
Thanks, Office. Appreciate that, brother.
Listen, what June, I and Mark, We'll be here every day. Okay, I'll definitely be here every day. I'm not going anywhere. So
Big
I love
respect,
this
brother.
shit.
Big respect. That's why I respect you.
Uh, no doubt. Maurizio, go ahead.
Oh, good morning. I just want to say,
What's up?
what's up? Yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, I don't want, um, I don't care about what it's selling. I just want him to care about winning, and picking the right people that could coach his team the right way. And I think Wood should stay out of. Let's say he hires the new coach, he should stay out of everything and let him do his job and let him bring in the right players that can help this team win because Ben Johnson just put up 100 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Watch out, man. Be careful driving on your commute. Maurizio, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, Ben Johnson. Yeah, it's going to be the hot topic and the hot commodity of coaching. There's going to be plenty of coaches available. So,
Braylon.
guys, there's a ton of requests coming up. I'm going to have to rotate people.
Petey,
All right.
Petey, can you see my hand?
No, because I think you just now
Oh,
I
there.
can.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
Hold on. Let me just stay there, Jarek, because apparently you're not allowed in the space. I'm only kidding, bro.
No, I know.
I'll do a space too with Lee Sean, and we'll have a fun space with that. So, I believe it's who's next? Jones and then Joe Jet.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
What's up, man?
I can't even think about this team without laughing. But hey, man, the team is. Hey, somebody else go ahead. They're doing announcements right now. Somebody else.
All right, Joe Jet.
PD, June, Mark. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, my brother.
I hope
Good morning,
everybody's
man.
doing. Hey, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Um, um, I don't even know what to even say after yesterday. I can't even imagine calling all 3 timeouts by the 1 minute mark in the first quarter. That to me just shows how inept we are with
Hey,
a Hall of Fame quarterback at the helm.
hey, Joe, in 40 years of me watching football, I've never seen that in any
I'm
level. College,
right.
high school,
High school,
nothing.
nothing. Pop Warner. I don't. So
Joe, and then after they score real quick, after they scored a touchdown, they got to call
I
timeout.
know.
And then they get it, or they get a delay a
Yeah,
game on the 2 point
I
conversion.
know. I know.
Like, I'm sorry, this is where I lost
But
Rodgers.
listen,
It's awful.
it's everybody keeps thinking about what the future holds, right? Um, you damn well know this organization listens to everything, right? So you can't tell me that Woody Johnson does not know the lack of respect that the fans have for him right now, and him being made into the butt of jokes and everything. So I think that he has to understand it's time to like kind of like let go. And I'm not talking about selling the team. I'm talking about letting or hiring someone to run the team, an actual, intelligent person, VP of football operations, and have them run the team and have him step out. Because basically, if you're going to strip this down, you're going to basically field an expansion team next year with a rookie quarterback. If in my opinion, they should really build around, you know, uh, JJ, McDonald, and Sherwood, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Allen, Pittman, and Olu. Those are your quote unquote blue chip players to build around. I trade Sauce, I trade Hall, okay, and then kind of hopefully hope that this regime does the right thing. But I have no idea who's coming in to save this franchise. I really don't, and that's a shame. They've lost to me, guys. Thursday, I'm taking my baby to trick or treating. I don't even want to even watch anymore, man. I really don't. It's disgusting. And the fact that we have players that, fans that, you give so much into it, so much emotion, so much loyalty, right? And then this is what we get back after 14 seasons of non-playoff competitive football. Screw that, man. I'm done, boys.
Joe, can we hear more of the kids'
Oh,
music real
dude,
quick to try
I'm
and cheer us
I'm
up,
I'm
please? Let me just hear that.
I'm home watching.
Joe,
I'm
please.
watching.
Joe, let me just hear it, please.
Okay, hold on. I'll put it up for you. I'm watching Dancing Fruit, guys.
All right, guys, here we go.
My boy need that Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol. Be there on the double. Good
Oh
morning,
my
Mark.
God.
Mute up. Team, mute up.
Oh.
Team, mute up. And then Billy, you go. Let me just hear this. Joe, you gonna do it or
Yeah,
not,
I'm
Joe?
up. I'm up.
All right. Hey, let's go Jets. Go ahead, Billy.
Wow.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, guys? It's been a while. This
Going
team
on?
right now.
Well, Billy's in Long Island for sure.
Yeah, he's splintered.
Damn, my Browns lost, but I saw that the Patriots beat the Jets. Hello.
Kiki, you see
Billy's
these
still
hands?
talking in the bladder.
Yeah, we got hands, dude. Here, go ahead. We got Billy?
I
Can I?
think he
Yeah,
was still
yeah.
talking.
Can I run
Yeah, go
it
ahead,
real
Bill.
quick?
Jones, is the
Oh
announcement
Lord, I
over?
forgot
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot
over.
the mute
Hey,
king in
good
here. Let me
morning,
go on mute.
fans in here. I just want to say the team is bad. But going on a point to trade people, I believe the only person that should be traded during the season that has value is obviously DJ Reed, who we can move up off of. But other than that, man, I hope whether who the coach is, I don't want no brand new coach. That's first thing. I know people are booty clapping for Ben Johnson, but when this media gets in here and eats him alive after a bad call and all these other things, we're going to be right back in the same situation where we were with Robert Saleh. We see who the heart and soul of that Detroit team is and their head coach. I don't trust Ben Johnson. Next, I know people want to trade Sauce, think his value is up there, but I would rather keep him. I don't see no reason to trade him when it comes to, we can pay guys. We had this guy make all pro 2 times in a row and he's having a down year. I agree, yes. But it seems like when, as fans, we leave no room for error. When a guy has 1 bad year or 5 bad games, we move on to immediately trade him. When clearly coaching is an issue. You see, we got better wide receivers, and this is my last point. But the Patriots are running bump and run defense. They're playing man and playing bump and run, throwing routes off, making Rodgers make reads. Meanwhile, we're playing bail coverage. We start and pressed, and we drop back right before the ball is snapped, and letting wide receivers get free releases. And that's what happens, especially with the catch. But I'm done, man. The season's over.
Great breakdown, brother. That was a great breakdown.
Who's next, Mark? Jarek?
Yep.
All right, what's going on, fellas? So obviously, I think draft season, has got to be talked about, and the Jets are in a very weird position because unfortunately, with this quarterback class, it's not. It's terrible. Like this quarterback class is not really good. It's Cam Ward, it's Shador Sanders, and then it's the next tier.
What?
Yeah, it's not. Or again, I don't think Shador wants to go to New York. That's just my thing about it. But no matter the order, whether it's Shador or Cam or Shador, I mean, you get the drift. But the next tier of guys, Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, it's not really it. So the question is for the New York Jets is what are you going to do? Obviously going to the next season with Aaron Rodgers, going to be 42, going to be 41, going to be 42 years of age, and just it's a very, very tough position to be in. Now, again, you guys still have a very talented roster, but if you got, obviously sooner or later you have to prepare for the future, and that starts with, getting a new GM, finding a head coach that can be more of a CEO role, and then obviously getting your quarterback that you can build around that for your future. Now, whether if you're going to do it this year or next year, obviously, we'll see what kind of happens there. But again, if you guys are looking for a quarterback potentially for this season, or for during the 2025 draft, you're going to have to make some big time moves because you got the Titans, you have the Raiders. There are other teams that are looking for those two guys. And I just, New York could be finishing potentially 10th, 11th, maybe, a little higher than that. But, it's going to be a very tough offseason. That's all I'll say.
Agreed. A lot of turnover and coaching for sure. Who's next, Mark?
I'm not sure, Pete. If folks want to just not talk over each other, go ahead. Like with the hands.
Yeah.
Like just jump in.
Lee Sean, I'll bring you up.
Yo, what's up? First of all, hope you guys are doing good today in good health, regardless of football. Hope your families are doing well.
Thanks, bro.
J-
Yeah, I'm good.
Jerry took some of my thunder. I was gonna say, you guys are kind of in a tough spot, and your owner and GM do have to make a decision. Um, if they want to trade some assets near the deadline, trade deadline. Um, and just take it from us. We were 17 years playoff drought. We were not good enough to win enough games to make the playoffs, but we weren't bad enough to get like a top 10 or top 5 pick for a while, right? We always finished 7-9, 8-8. Some years we finished 9-7, which just wasn't good enough to get us where we needed to go. So we were kind of stuck in that 10 to 15 pick limbo. And I said your GM has to make a decision because you guys still have a very talented roster, and talent can win you games. And there's a possibility where it can win you enough games where you're gonna be in that position where you're not getting that premium pick because you guys want to start playing to the future. Now, I disagree about the cornerbacks. I think me personally, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think DJ Reed is the better corner on your defense compared to Sauce. I just think Sauce is a bigger name because of his draft status. Now that's just my opinion personally. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not, if you disagree or not. But that's what I think. I think you guys do need to. If you want to plan for the future and be competitive in the future, I think you do have to start trading some assets at the deadline, and then you have to look at more trades in the offseason. That's what we did. McDermott's first year, we traded Sammy Watkins, we traded Ron Darby, then we ended up trading our left tackle after the season, and we ended up trading Tyrod Taylor to move up to get our quarterback and other assets and other picks. Right. So you have to make that tough decision. So like Jerry said, it is going to be a tough offseason, but that decision has to start sooner than later, right? The trade deadline is approaching.
They're running it back. I'm telling you, they're going to get a different coaching staff this year.
Ground and pound. I had my hand up.
Oh, I thought we weren't doing that.
Actually, Nautica's been waiting to get a mic for like 40
Yeah,
minutes.
you guys just jump in, Lee Sean, and I'll set up a space. And by the way, what's going on with you and Dom, I'm going to comment on that. Both of you are great guys, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Alan.
I'll be quick. I think I told Petey before the offseason that I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the leader that you guys need to fix the foundation of your team. My brother is a Packers fan. I've followed the Packers for like years just because of him, and the same issues that he had at the end of the Packers are the same issues y'all are having now. Like he just seems sort of out of it. If it's not going well, he's not the guy to be like to rally the troops to pick guys up when things aren't going well. He just kind of wallows in it and almost makes it worse because it's like if you look over and the leader of your team is like, man, fuck this, nothing's going right. I'm gonna fucking pout on the bench. Like, what do you think everybody else is gonna do? You know what I mean? Like he's not fixing the situation. He's not trying to help you guys build a winning culture. He's just like, oh, it's not going well. Oh well, that's just kind of what it seems like. He doesn't take accountability for anything. He just kind of pushes the blame to other people, even though he is the quarterback or leader of the team. That's supposed to be on you, but at this point, I think he's almost ruined it. Like I don't know
Didn't they
how
just
you
have a
guys
game?
fix this.
Didn't they just have a game like leading drive that the defense just completely fumbled?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not Nautica. To be fair,
Like, what are we talking
I'm not
about here?
I don't think Rodgers is the biggest problem. I
Nautica,
don't.
do you realize we had 10 passing touchdowns last year and we already have 12?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
how many
like,
delayed games did you have? How many timeouts did you have to use? That's on the
they
quarterback
got
to
to get the
get
Okay,
play
that
to
calling.
point.
the.
They got to get the play calling. And what about how the defense can't stop the run? How about that? How about how we're getting killed on the line of scrimmage
Aren't y'all
on
ranked
both
like
sides of the ball?
28th
Bro,
against the
Aaron,
run?
bro, I'm just saying, like,
Okay, you
the
know what? Let
quarterback
me
must
shut up.
help the
It's
team
just low
accountable.
hanging fruit, man.
No,
It's
It's
T,
not
Am
low
I
hanging
wrong,
I
fruit,
hate it,
bro.
T, and
yeah,
I
it
agree.
is.
Petey? Am I wrong?
no, we can't stop a
Oh, okay.
nosebleed
I
on the
mean, you
run.
know what I'm
We
saying.
can't.
But
Yeah.
What
I
was
ain't want to overcut Nautica because Leishawn know I don't try to overcut the women. You know what I'm saying.
But what
But
was the down and distance on that sauce play that he got turned around? Was it like 3rd and 9?
Jesus, but I
Yeah.
told y'all he was buns. Y'all had that young fan I had to correct, and I know he's probably wallowing in a hole somewhere in his mama's basement. Um, what was his name? Lee John? Yeah, I think it was Lee John.
All right. I muted the room. Good morning. No, we're not talking about anybody that's not here, please. Let's keep it to football. This is a football space, New York Jets and NFL space. Please, out of respect to
I got it. All
everybody.
right, I got
Go
you. I got you.
ahead.
Well, good morning, Pete.
And now you got delayed mute. God
Yeah, it was
damn.
delayed.
T, I'm not muting you, man.
T.
Nah, I know
You know,
you wasn't. I was
go
like,
ahead.
damn, that shit was vicious. But good morning, PD, Mark. You know, Jim. What's up, my nigga? Um, I watched the game. You know, I was I couldn't believe what I watched. Like I wrote a personal blunt for the Jets just to come in here and talk with y'all because like I couldn't believe what I saw. Like I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like what? I was like, what happened? And I just like I was standing there. It was and I was just like, huh? Like how? And yeah, I trade your kicker and Sauce at the trade deadline. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, they gotta go. They're buns. But if you want to give me Quinion, who's y'all say y'all want it? I got some DBs for you. I got an Avante Maddox. I got a Darius Slay.
Nah.
And
The
and
Yo,
I'll
pussy.
we
raise you a
Get out of
James,
here.
and I'll raise you a
man, we
James
need draft
Bradbury.
picks. Man, we ain't. Why would we take James Bradbury for Quentin? It's now you got me wanting to call him Quinion. It's Quentin. Quinton.
Yeah, just bring on Quinton need to come and win. Quinton gonna want to win, right? And y'all gonna need depth and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? I fuck with y'all a little
What?
more than I fuck with the other team in New York. You feel me? So like, I'm willing
Yo,
to do business, PD. Business is always
yes,
open.
and you know what? Speaking of business, this entertainment part of Jets Commute is sponsored by my man T Dizzle. What up,
Man, how y'all
T?
do? But
It's
man,
sponsored by Quinion's,
hey,
your
hey, hey,
favorite
hey, hey, Mark. I
fast food
know
treat.
the best Quinn Yan is in Philadelphia. You hear me? And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how y'all let us get him. Well, y'all had other needs. Never mind. And well, I told y'all that he was a liability in coverage, but y'all didn't believe me. Y'all had a great scheme, and when you have a great scheme, it can hide the fact that you don't have a real DB.
Wait,
And,
who's a liability in coverage? Sauce?
yes.
See this but this let me ask you this question real quick. If you take Quinion, right, your corner, and you put him in the jet scheme, you think he could play man
Ain't
crush like
nobody
that?
saucing him up. No,
You
no, no
crazy.
pun
You
intended. You
crazy,
hear
dog.
me?
Hey, gang, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Jets have been doing this for a while now, right?
I'm
It's
sorry.
not
He's
so it's not
different.
so much. No, look, it's not so much
That
that the
boy was
corner
at
can't
Toledo
cover.
before he got to the.
T,
All
let
right.
him go.
Hold
Look,
on,
T,
let
let him
Dante
go.
cook.
look,
Go
it's
ahead.
not that he can't cover, but with Sauce, a lot of people fail to realize what he said the game before. When your coach is asking you to have your back to the quarterback the entire game, the Jets are in two safety high. There's two safety high man all game, bro. That's why you keep seeing quarterbacks roll out on the Jets. You see wide open receivers, pick routes. because they're in man, and you see it. You pre-snap, you see what the Jets are in. Every Jet fan that watches the game knows when the Jets is in man.
We
Every
run
single
man.
time.
We
But
be in man.
I promise you, if Quinion was over here on this side, it would be the same thing.
No,
It's
it
not. It's.
wouldn't. I
I'm
ain't gonna
telling you,
lie.
it
You
would,
you
dog.
probably look you
You
probably
you
look a little better in the back
you know
end.
what the difference is right now. The
What's the
difference is
difference?
you're getting pressure from your D tackle.
Oh, I'm
We're
getting
not getting
pressure.
pressure, dog.
He been doing it
So
before we
so
started
so
getting
so
pressure.
we're
Did you
covering
look at our
longer.
first 5 weeks? We wasn't
I
getting
saw what
pressure.
y'all look like.
We might have
I
had
saw
we
what y'all
might
look
have
like
had two
last
sacks
year.
in 5 weeks, brother.
All
No,
right,
I'm
I
being
saw what y'all
honest.
look
I'm
all
like
being
right,
last
no,
year.
Petey. He wants to inflate our stats, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm
all
not
right.
gonna go for it. I know the bum ass
Wouldn't
teams.
that be
I
deflating?
know
Wouldn't
the
that be
bum teams
deflating
we
your
just
stats?
played,
Dame,
and we
Dame,
just
watch.
got them sacks on. So I'm not gonna inflate no stats. When we played all them
Okay,
other
so
boys, we had like what 2, 3 sacks through 5 weeks. Like Quinion been doing what he doing. Don't say if he wasn't on the if he was on the Jets, him and Reed would have y'all all right. I'ma just keep it a buck.
All
I'ma
right.
keep it a
Let's
buck.
rein it in.
Shit would be
We're
lights
talking
out in
about a
Mark,
that
new
let's
secondary.
team.
Mark, let's move it.
That's the
Move it.
Jets. Okay.
sound
But
crazy,
let's
dog.
let's get back to it. All right. Who's
Mark,
next?
I do have one
Just
more
jump in,
question though
please, and
for
don't talk over.
Vino is next.
man,
All right.
Leishawn,
Let's
Thank
go
you,
damn
Sean.
nigga.
quick
Okay,
T and
third
then Vino.
co-host.
T, go ahead.
He asked who was next. I
You the
told him who
third
was
T,
next.
go ahead.
co-host?
T, go ahead.
Are you still in
T,
Seattle, Lee, Sean?
go ahead. We'll get T. We'll get Vino. Go
All right.
ahead.
Oh,
T.
I wanted to ask you from your perspective, because you heard me say I watched it. What play did you lose the game on, in your opinion?
What, one play?
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you can pick a couple. I think it was one specific play that lost you the game.
I don't know, man. Look, you could say kicking. You could say time management with squandering 3 timeouts in the first half. You could say uh, the Sauce Gardner, that whole shit changing off the receiver, and then that play. You could pick that one if you really wanted to, but they left. The Jets are playing sloppy football right now,
Yeah,
which shouldn't be a shocker when you fire your head coach.
I was kind
But
of disappointed, Mark.
that's just me.
I was disappointed.
Not me. When they fired the head coach weeks ago, I said, okay, this team might go 1-3 over the next 4. I might have been too kind. You really think they're going to beat Houston playing like this? I
You
don't.
could.
Anything's possible. I mean,
Do y'all
I
do
don't think
y'all run a
so.
lot of cover too high?
I mean, Dante broke it down. They're running a lot right now. Listen, if I'm watching this tape, the Jets are having an issue with stopping running quarterbacks. Look, Drake May. It's not like Drake May was dicing up the Jet defense. Okay,
Y'all let
he had a
Jacoby
couple big
Brissett run for a
runs.
third and 14,
Well,
bro.
I ain't gonna lie. CJ
Mark,
Lightskin Stroud think he's the next coming of Peyton Manning. He want to stay in the pocket and get you.
All right, T. We got to get to the hands,
No,
cuz.
you did not just catch
yo,
me. You know what? We gonna whoop them
hold on.
Yankees.
All right,
Fuck you.
All right.
is there?
Yo, chill, T. I
Petey,
know he's
Petey,
kidding
No, I'm
there.
a
Yes,
Dodger fan.
yes.
I am
Petey.
not
You know,
kidding. I am dead
I'm,
serious.
yeah, by the way, well, I'm serious too. Let's go Dodgers tonight.
P. I'm not T. I said T. Petey. No, I'm not still in Seattle. I caught the red eye home. I'm on my way to work.
Oh, wow, man. Shout out to you.
Yeah. It's on Vino and then me and then
Yeah, wait,
franchise. Let's go.
Vino, let me just make one point. This is where, guys, where we're not talking about enough, where the Jets desperately missed Jermaine Johnson with running quarterbacks. Jermaine Johnson was a tremendous loss for this team. There's no doubt
And in
about
run
it.
defense too, Pete. Jermaine Johnson was
For,
excellent against the run. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Am I good to go?
yo, V, yes, what's up?
Davino?
Sorry
Yeah,
All
go
right.
about
ahead, man.
that.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Hope everybody done had an all right morning. Just a couple things to say. Would I ever think that I saw a team that was beyond out talented get out coached or straight up out coach a more talented team like that last night or yesterday? Sauce Gardner getting turned around by Kayshawn Booty probably summed up the season for you guys. That it's big names and they're just failing in big moments like that. That's just really what it is. Aaron Rodgers, like I don't think that he is completely washed. I think that he's taken for sure a step and a half back. But I mean, like for all the shit that we've heard on the Bills, like with the Legion of Twos and shit like that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a person who even was talking shit on the Legion of Twos. I legit have a Legion of Threes out there, brother. That shit should not be happening out there where guys are just sitting up here and just doing whatever. The fact that you guys were allowing us to go ahead and even make that fourth quarter drive to even get down the field, it's honestly embarrassing. And that whole defense should be ashamed of themselves. It is no bullshit. The same guy that you sat up here and waxed and completely had on the ropes looked like he was in a Rocky film week 3, went out there and looked like he made the comeback story, and that was just embarrassing. You guys should be better than that, and I don't know where y'all go from here. Uh, I mean, and for all the grabbing that, Sauce does, I don't think that it's intuitive for what you guys do. I think that the name honestly gets him off of a lot of calls. But if but when you guys see those marquee receivers like you did with Justin Jefferson, they pay attention to it and they go ahead and they flag it down. And that shit is not going to be conducive for you guys to winning football games if you're a receiver. I mean, not your receiver, but your cornerback one just grabs the whole time to go ahead and keep himself from getting burnt. It's not going to work at all. So I mean, where you guys go from here, that's a mystery because you're in a real weird spot. But man, y'all gotta be better. Y'all have to be better. Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I don't know if there's a midseason change at this point that they can make to actually be better. They
No, I
fired the
mean
best
that's
defensive
what I'm
mind in the
saying.
building, and now Ulbrich is managing both the game plan and being head coach for the defense. And now the defense is falling off a cliff. Like there's no, it's the numbers show it, the play shows it. You're totally right. This is a team that the Jets beat 24-3 early in the season. Shifting where you play the football game is not enough of a shift to show that kind of I agree with what you said 100%. This was a thoroughly embarrassing performance by the Jets. Because look, forget the game-winning drive where everyone wants to focus on that. But how many plays was New England marching down the field on a Jet defense? I'm like, what in the world am I watching? In terms of the scheme and the calls, and then I'm watching blitz calls on a third down, and the blitz doesn't get
Mark,
home. Like,
you know it
what
was a big Mark.
is
You
going
know it
on
was a
here?
big Mark. We didn't talk about it. That Jamie and Sherwood missed tackle. It would have made it like fourth down, I believe, or third down. That was big too. And when they were driving, do you recall that play?
I do. A lot of miscues, man. That one was brutal. They had, and Pete, that's one of like 6 different plays where it's like, oh, missed tackle, and then the guy gets way more yards, or contact behind the line of scrimmage, but of course the guy doesn't wrap up and make the tackle. He's not tackling with the right energy, and the guy, and what should have gone for -2 goes for 4 or 5 yards. Like the shit adds up. The down and distance adds up.
And for my last point, it's absolutely inexcusable with how poor my offensive line is that I believe I really have a bottom 3 line in the league they're that we're just able to do whatever we want. I remember seeing the one Quentin Williams sack early in the game, but after that, it really felt like not a lot was really happening. Jacoby was able to get outside of the pocket. Hell, Drake May was able to get outside the pocket and do whatever they wanted. That shit should not be happening with y'all, especially when you pay Quentin Williams all that money. I mean, granted, I understand Jermaine Johnson's down right now, but Will McDonald, he was absolutely feasting on us game 1. I don't remember seeing Will McDonald being involved in a
Yep.
pass rush whatsoever.
Well, how about that? I mean,
Quick
I know
comment
the
on
ref.
that, Pete.
Yeah, I know the refs missed calls, but Will McDonald got bear hugged too in that fourth quarter, and nothing was called.
I will tell y'all this. I was umpiring yesterday. I didn't even get to see the whole game. So like from what I did get to see though, it was just not the same Jets team that I saw week 3. That's basically what I'm saying.
Thank you. And for folks that are here's where the Patriots are ranked right now. Okay, they're 20 offensively. They're 22nd in the run. They're 31st in the pass. They're 30th in the NFL in offense, and they're averaging 14 points a game, which is tied for third fewest in the league. And the Jets lost the game 25-22.
Mark, sorry.
So explain to me how this defense. No, I'm just saying, like, I just don't. And we're still saying, oh, well, it was the right decision to fire the head coach. I just don't. I'm sorry, man. I don't. All the evidence points to this being a fucking stupid move. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, but Mark, just real quickly, I think, and again, if any Patriots fans, if they would come up and tell me if I'm wrong, then that's fine. But their offensive line, I mean, this was, I think, did they insert their 10th offensive line before this game even started? Like this their offensive line was banged up heavily. They lost a lot of
They've
players.
had a lot of turnover.
Yeah, a lot of turnover, and so the one expectation that a lot of people thought was going to happen was like, hey, the Jets were going to have a lot of pressure, and the interior pressure was really good. I thought this was by far Quinn Williams' best game, but I kind of expected a little bit more from the edge rushers. Again, Reddick was on a snap count, but where was you expect more from your rotation, especially against tackles that, I mean, they were on their third tackle in this game.
Yep. Who's next? Lee Sean?
Yes, I'm next.
And then I was going to call you Far Side. The other guy. What's up?
Yeah, it's franchise.
Sean?
That's franchise. But yeah, I gotta choose. Can you hear me, Petey?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right,
Yeah,
I
man,
gotta
go ahead.
choose. I gotta choose my words carefully. My tweets are taken down off the jumbotron every day. It's a lot of sensitivity in the comments. June, are you there? June, are you still a Buffalo Hunter? My fan base would like to know. Are you still a Buffalo Hunter? Hello, June. Are you there, sir?
Dude is definitely not there.
June stepped
Okay,
away.
June's not there. Okay, it's the
What
all
else
right.
do they
Last thing
want to
I
know?
got. Last thing I got. We're getting ready to open up a Bill space soon, so we'll be covering the Jets a lot. So I need Petey, Mark, June when he pops back up. I need a Buckeye. That's my guy. I need Bird. I need I'm calling the whole roll. I need all of you guys to report to the Jets for Life, Hexakin, Justin Jet, Jim. I mean, I
I'll
can
be
keep
there.
going. I need all you guys. Vince, come holler at me in the Bill space. We'll be covering the Jets a lot. I need you guys to come in, okay? That's all I got.
Yeah. Are we going to be able to get a word in?
Absolutely. I promise
All
you
right.
will.
I'll be there.
I won't take your posts off the Jumbotron, and I won't allow the Bills fans to call you clowns and say you shouldn't have a platform and all types of crazy shit like that. I won't allow it,
Yeah,
okay?
well, and neither will I. That's why you're always welcome in here, Lee Sean.
I know you won't. You know you're my guy. All right. It's
No.
franchise and then Thomas.
All right. The fourth co-host has spoken. Go ahead, franchise. Sorry, I called you Far Side. If anybody recalls that, can't keep running away. If anybody
I've been
knows
called
that
much
song.
worse, so it's okay, Petey. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Good morning.
brother.
Good morning. What's up, you guys? Franchise Wake and Bake King here. Nautica, I think, said something apropos here, and I want to kind of circle back to it because Nautica said something that kind of piqued my interest, and then Mark said something that piqued my interest. When we're talking about Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, throughout his career, it's never been a question of his ability. And even this year, he's playing better than I thought. I'll give him credit for that. He's still not what he was, but he's playing better than I thought. But I think when you look at this team, and I watched every game this year, right? And I say, every Jet game, win or lose, I come away asking who's the leader of the team, and there is not one. There isn't one. It's a bunch of guys, and I think that's the issue. There's not really any continuity. It's a bunch of guys, and I think when you look at Rodgers, he's trying to show up the coach from the moment he got here, right? And we're not talking about the defense falling off a cliff. Well, yeah, you fired the defensive-minded head coach. Was he a great coach? Was he perfect? No, he had his warts too, but almost not as good as him. So the quarterback shoves the coach on camera. 2 weeks later, he's fired. But then we're in this conversation saying, well, it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. Yes, it is. Is he a bad quarterback? Is he putting him in bad positions with his play consistently? Not really. But the shit behind the scenes, and that's been the criticism of him his whole career. He got McCarthy fired. He tried to get LaFleur fired.
Thank you, franchise.
He tried to get LaFleur fired. You're not that good anymore to get the coach fired. And I think that, the Jets to some degree have sold their soul. There's no leadership. The defense is falling off a cliff. When you watch the tape, they are very much expecting Aaron Rodgers to beat teams with his arm. They're running the ball. Okay, they run the ball, but sometimes they just inexplicably don't. Right? You guys are all see it. Like, they run the ball, and then for whatever reason, Aaron's like, we're going to go pass. And then they punt. And I just think, he's getting mad at the OT for not getting the play in on time. Bro, this is your guy. These are your guys. You guys are the brain trust. You and Donald and all these guys are the brain trust. Don't yell at them when the camera's on. Get the shit right in practice, right? But again, who's the leader of the team? Who's the adult in the room? And I know you guys don't want to hear this, because I know that the fan base is not a huge fan of him, but it's looking like it was Salah. From everything I'm seeing now, it's looking like it was Salah. And, I'm a Niners fan, Salah with our DC. I love Salah, so I am biased. But right when he shoved that guy, I looked at my wife and said, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be a disaster, because he came here to assert his ego, not to win. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. He came here to prove to the Packers that he could still whatever, not to win. He's not trying to lead these young guys. It's a bunch of guys. And I feel bad for the Jets fan base because I feel like you guys got really excited. And I feel like you guys were sold the bill of goods. And you're a loyal fan base and yourself. You don't deserve to have to put up with Aaron Rodgers bullshit at 40 years old.
Fair points. Vince, go ahead. Thanks, Farside. I'll get back to you on
No problem, Pete.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, gosh, Vince.
I got nothing else. It's just you're at a loss for words for a while. I think I think I'm going to first quickly say this for anybody that says that Robert Saleh didn't deserve to be fired. It looks like it now, but let's not forget that the guy was 20-46 as the head coach of the Jets. He deserved to be fired before the season even started. That's one of the big issues that I think most people have. But this love affair with Robert Saleh just because we're 0-3 without him or we're 6 with him. So sorry, 20-40. I'm just tired of hearing people say that he didn't deserve to be fired. He did. When it comes to the kicking game, let's think about it like this. Greg Zuerlein, this is roster mismanagement, at its finest. Greg Zuerlein, before he missed the kicks yesterday, he was the worst kicker in the NFL. He should have been let go right after that Pittsburgh game where he missed another field goal. Should have never been able to come into this game and lose another one. Defensively, it's a joke. Big moments. Guys want to step up in big moments, but it never actually happens. Both drives that the Patriots had in the fourth quarter, both went over 60 yards, both went over 13 plays, and both ended in touchdowns. I mean, I don't care how good coaching is or whatnot. Some guys need to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out why they're allowing a subpar offense to run up and down on the field. Last point, really, and it's the worst point about it all, is that I really feel like this, and we've been talking about it, it's been 14 years without a playoff appearance and 6 decades almost without a Super Bowl. This season, to me, has changed my fandom of the Jets, and it's not to say I'm not going to be a fan, I'm not going to support them completely, but when we go into a season with a rookie quarterback, it's going to be a rough season. And you kind of accept it and you see what happens. And same thing with, a rookie head coach or whatnot. How do you ever get excited as a Jet fan for a upcoming season, after watching the debacle this year? I mean, it's basically impossible. This is probably the most excited the Jets fans have been in decades, in half centuries about a team, and we're 2-6 starting it after 8 games. I mean, it's like, I'll bring it back to the World Series. It's the Aaron Judge syndrome right now. How do I get excited when he hits a regular season home run knowing he bats 199 in the postseason? How am I supposed to get excited next year? Doesn't matter what head coach we have, what quarterback we have, what receivers we have, who's on defense. We've seen good teams crash and burn. So that's kind of what I'll end it on. It's so deflating this year.
Vince, it's been a long time since I've seen a team this. I was scratching my head about this one. Like a team this talented look this bad. I was thinking about the Chargers, like their defense, what that looked like with all the big names and spending a lot of money and being an underperforming unit. It's rare that you see it. But look, man, the owner found. I mean, look, I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but the Saleh firing, when they fired him, in my mind, is a strategic blunder, and it basically wrecked the season. It did it prior to a Monday night game where you were going to play against the team that was in first place in the division. We all knew the right move. If we put the egos aside, we all knew the right move was to change the play calling from Hackett to Downing to see if it would provide a spark for the offense. And the offense has shown some signs of life. They still have execution problems. I understand that. But it was too much change all at the same time from an owner that doesn't understand what it takes to win. An owner who has no pedigree of running a winning franchise. And now we're here. And now we got to watch this. I'm going to watch every game. I'll watch them all. We'll talk about it and the rest of it. Pete will be here. June will be here. Like, we're always here to talk about it. But it's very disappointing performance yesterday against a team that you beat handily early in the season.
Hey, Mark, I hear you, but I don't think Salah being here helps the Jets stop the run. I really don't.
That's an it's a good point, and I know they had issues stopping the run, but they were also ranked second overall in defense according to ProNFL.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think look, it was still going to be a problem, but I also care about points allowed, and they were losing what? They went through a span where they lost 3 games by like 10 points total. So like they were the point. Okay. In my mind, the strategy was going to be, and we saw this from the draft moving forward, that they were going to be a running football team. They're going to run a lot. They were going to use play action to turn Rodgers into a play action quarterback, understanding his limitations at 40. That was the strategy. And you were going to play stellar defense and have complementary special teams. Instead, they got away from the run game with the injury of Morgan Moses. And then, well, the offense was like maybe starting to find, like the offense found a little bit of rhythm under Downing. But then, and to Franchise's point from earlier, where, Rodgers got Saleh fired. The truth is, Woody never hired Saleh. I mean, he was looking for an excuse to cut bait with the guy. And after getting embarrassed by his friends overseas, he's like, all right, get this guy out of here. I'm done with. He did it. He overrode Joe Douglas. He said, get Saleh out of the building. Then they changed the play caller, which is what Saleh was going to do anyway. It was too much. And so now you eroded the only thing on the team that was working, in any fashion. Not perfect, not the 85 Bears, but the only part of the team that was working in any fashion was the defense. And so now they eroded that unit, and now we're watching a team team defense has fallen from second overall down to like 26, maybe even 30th overall in the league. That's how bad it's gotten in a short amount of time. So, I mean, I
Mark,
don't know,
can
man.
I push back on one quick point, though? Is that I agree with you 100% of what you're saying. I agree 110% of what you're saying. But I think at one point, you also have to look at, and I'm not saying you're not doing this, but at one point you have to look at these players, right? Because I understand that you can sit there and talk about how the defense has taken a dip under Ulbrich, and that's 100% true. The eye test shows that, and the numbers show that. But I don't care who was the defensive quarterback. When you're Sauce Gardner and you're a 2-time All-Pro and you want to run your mouth and show your golf swing all off season, and you get beat by Booty on 3rd and 9 in the most important part of the game, that's on you. When you're Michael Clemens and you want to walk into the building with your shirt off and show everybody your awesome pecs, but yet you probably lead the league in personal foul calls, that's on you. When you're Quinnen Williams, you got that big contract. You don't do shit for half the season already. You get a couple pressures in today's game. That's on you. Kinlaw comes over after a disaster in the 49ers system, thinks he's going to show out. He's horrible. I mean, at some point, I understand, blaming the coaches, and I agree with it. But this roster, and this goes back to Joe Douglas, this roster has no heart from the players, and that has no. And maybe they need to be coached up to get some, but there's absolutely no heart on this defense. There's no heart on this offense. There's no heart in special teams. The roster is just weak, and that's the thing. It's like we can blame coaches, but come on, these guys need to make a play.
But Vince, at some point, I want to bring up the coaching staff and how much. You know what? There's hands though. I don't want to. Buckeye and I can't see the other hand up. But look, can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
I got you, Pete.
So Keith Carter has 12 years of coaching experience. Todd Downing, 24. Mark Quinn, Manuel, 12. Mike Ruttenberg, 15. Billy Vanderman, 4 years. Aaron Wycotton, 12. Dan Shamas, 15 years. Ron Middleton, 15 years. Sean Jefferson, 20 years. Ryan Davis Sr., 2 years. Shaq Wilson, 3 years. Ben Wilkerson, 10 years. Junior Taylor, 2 years. Tony Oden, 21 years. I mean, Tony Dews, 7 years. I mean, what? I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, these guys aren't new to the
But
NFL.
Petey, with the coach, I know you want to move forward, but who hired this whole coaching staff? And
Correct.
that's the thing is
I
that, like,
know.
you know, as fans, you have to say, what do you want? We did under Adam Gase, we did the rookie had the rookie coaching staff under Salah's first thing. We did the Matt LaFleur rookie quarterback with a rookie coaching staff. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You just got to hire. I don't give a shit if a guy has been in the league for 2 years or 20 years. Hire the right fucking people for once. And that's the thing that Jets coaches do not do. They don't hire the right people.
Well, they hire
Fair point.
people, and then it fails in New York, and then they go somewhere else, and they start to they don't have the pressure and the rest of it, and then they start to shine in their own roles. I think Vince just. I know Vince strategically. When one player is messing up, I put it on the player. When multiple players are screwing up, I put it on the coach, because that's just how I look at it. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying Salah was perfect. I'm also not saying that Salah didn't deserve to get fired. It's a totally separate conversation about whether or not he deserved to get fired. But the strategic move of firing him when they did was a complete failure in judgment by the owner. And now his fans were paying the price for it. And the numbers show it. The eye test show it. The record shows it. And the fact that we're moving to draft talk and selling off pieces and the rest, like, I don't know what more evidence we need. That's my point.
Who's next, Thomas or Buckeye? All right.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Tom?
Hey, good morning. So franchise kind of took a little bit what I was going to say, but I'm going to kind of go along with it. I think the tough part, honestly, and I kind of said this, I think a bunch of people kind of alluded to this when Aaron Rodgers was brought in, is it's kind of an unfortunate house of cards, right? And with Aaron Rodgers, he very much inserted his dominance into the franchise. I mean, Joe Douglas did everything they could to pacify this guy, whether it was bringing in Randall Cobb or Alan Lazard. I mean, they hired Nate Hackett, who anybody could have told you is shit. The guy's terrible, to make sure he could get here. And I think when you roll out the red carpet like this to a guy who already notoriously has issues. I mean, he doesn't talk to his own family. He's had issues in Green Bay. I mean, they kind of forced his way out of there. You know, there was kind of this overarching theme with him that was going to come with him, hell or high water. And when you're talking about that, a guy that is, I mean, when you talk about the Jets, you talk about Aaron Rodgers. He is the face of the franchise, right? You better hope the guy is able to be a good leader. And I know people are like, "Oh, his teammates like him." Fine, that doesn't mean he's a good leader. There's a lot of teammates that people like. That doesn't mean they're good people or good leaders. And unfortunately, in the Jets situation, it just seems that when you have a guy at the helm who is incapable of being a leader of men, and unfortunately, because of, you saw when he was in Green Bay the last 2 years, he wasn't the same MVP guy. Then he had the Achilles injury. He still has the touch. He still has the accuracy, but unfortunately, with the other regressing parts of his body, they don't all kind of co-align anymore. I think that's tough. And the handcuffing part to that is, you guys, unfortunately, were kind of given a smoke and mirrors game with this franchise. You know, Joe Douglas sold you on a lot of things that I like. This was a house of cards. You know, Tyron Smith, a dude who, you know, there's a reason the Cowboys let him go. The dude was consistently injured. Morgan Moses, same thing. You go on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Mike Williams, you know, all the hoopla about Mike Williams, but yet he had missed 30 games in 5 years. There was a big drive about Malachi Corley before he even got here, and who knows what the fuck's going on there. I don't know why he can't see the field, but I mean, whether that's coaching or this assertion he was going to be better than he was. And then Alan Lazard being the other wide receiver. I just feel like as good as there's parts and pieces, I mean, or the defensive line. I mean, the fact that you let JFN go, you really didn't add anything massive to the defensive line. It just seems like everything for this team had to be perfect. And unfortunately, there was coaching issues last year that were residual into this year. So you knew that the coaching had to be better, but there was no coaching changes. There was nothing that was added. There was no new element to potentially elevate what was, an issue last year. You already had Woody Johnson who meddles, and I think that's one of the biggest issues in your franchise. And until he's out of it, I think you're probably in a bad spot. But it's just the unfortunate scenario of everything had to be picture perfect in this franchise, very similar to the Dolphins. Everything has to be picture perfect or the house of cards comes crumbling down, because there's not one like distinct super strong element. Like Aaron Rodgers, if it was Aaron Rodgers of 2012, you could get through. Like the Packers did it too. But unfortunately, he's not that guy. The defense is not the same as last year. Sauce is showing his warts. The defensive line isn't as good. You saw that yesterday. And then the offense is unfortunately incredibly suspect. Is Garrett Wilson top of the line? Absolutely. But outside of that, like, I'm sorry. Like, it stinks. And it really stinks for you guys, because I know all for the last 2 years, you guys were hyped as shit about this. I mean, you had space upon space upon space about waiting for Aaron Rodgers to get here, if he was going to get traded, all this stuff. And, I think the only way to ever, if I'm the Jets, the only way to succeed, which the problem is Joe Douglas is gone. There's no way he's back, and he shouldn't be. The coaching staff should be gone. My guess is Aaron Rodgers and everybody else is gone, minus a few pieces, is really just to start and hope to God that Woody Johnson can keep his hands out of the cookie jar. Because if I'm a prospective coach, the Jets, especially with the New York media, with everything that goes on, is going to be one of my last spots to want to choose. Like, I know everybody says, like, I want to be a coach in the NFL, but like the inherent baggage that comes along with being under Woody Johnson and the fact that he meddled under Joe Douglas. They fired Saleh because that's what Rodgers wanted, even though it says it wasn't him.
All right, Tom, with respect, land the plane soon, man. I got a bunch of pushback, but God.
Sure. I just think that there was too many potential faults with the situation for it had to be perfect. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. And you made a lot of points. I agree with some and not all, but I think the one area of pushback I want to give you, and I have a few, but I think the one is that the Jets had to play perfect football. The thing is, I think a lot of Jet fans weren't expecting Rodgers to be MVP Rodgers. What they were expecting was a 40-year-old quarterback coming off Achilles that would be far better than what we saw with Zach Wilson and the rest of it. Like Petey was saying it, if you get 60% of Aaron Rodgers, the Jets can play winning football. And the idea was, okay, you're going to play solid, stout defense, which they'd look like a solid and stout unit in years past under Saleh, and then play some complementary stuff with special teams and like not have special teams be the killer. If you want the facts behind that, Buckeye actually posted it in the Jumbotron. Like the Jets lost 3 games by 10. The Jets could be a 5 and whatever. They could be a 5-win team and not a 2-win team if they make their kicks, even in spite of all the other things that are going wrong with the team. But in terms of playing perfect football, the expectation from the draft and everything we were seeing, all the moves, was that they were going to run the ball. They replaced 3 pieces on the O-line and drafted 2 running backs. You ask me, that telegraphs that and they didn't really add significantly to the wide receiver core. That shows me you're going to try and run the football. And then you're going to turn Rodgers into like an RPO, like a play action style quarterback. And that formula works. Like when they made the play call change from Hackett to Downing, they were starting to show signs of life on offense. And look at what happened in the New England game. They actually started to run the ball with like some frequency and get more to a balanced offense. And they started moving the ball. But then it's the miscues, the time management, the mistakes, procedurals, drops. I mean, superstar players making mistakes in big moments like the Garrett Wilson having the ball bounce off your breastplate, like in the Steeler game, and then that turned into a pit. It's like little shit like that, but it all adds up. So there was a road for the Jets playing winning football, but it wasn't all. I mean, I know folks want Aaron Rodgers' head, but in my mind, it's more than that. They had a playbook that it looked like they were going to be following for the start of the season, and then they abandoned the playbook right when the offense was they needed to change the play call or get their footing because the team looked better on offense. But then Woody stepped in and said, "You know what? I'm sick of this shit. Let's start the firings now." In advance of a Monday night contest for first place. Like, all right, that in my mind, that's when they murdered the season. Like, that's where it happened. But whatever. I'm saying the same shit over and over again. Who's next? Did we lose the room?
Mark,
Hello?
you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Pete.
Yeah, I'm going to close. I'm
All
going to
right.
shut this down. Guys, have a great day. Go into build space, Jeff fans, if you want. I'll be in there. Appreciate you guys. We're on YouTube, every day too, just like we are on here. Follow us if you can on YouTube. Check out some of the shorts that are up there. We'd appreciate it. Hang in there, Jeff fans. It's going to be a long year, and look, we'll be here. So, Mark, if you would have told me both that Miami and the Jets would be 2-6, I would have laughed. I didn't think the Dolphins would be this bad neither. Now, granted, they lost their quarterback, but still, if you would have told me that, forget it. I would have never signed up for that.
Hey,
And here we are.
We all thought in the preseason going in, okay, it's going to be 3 teams atop the division all fighting for first place. There's going to be Buffalo and Miami and the Jets, and it was going to be like vicious down to the wire near the end of the season. And then Miami loses their quarterback, and it potentially derails their season. And then again, the owner finds a way to wrap up the season. And so now it's smooth sailing for Buffalo now. I mean, what can they do with it?
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Actually,
but we're gonna be here regardless.
I'll stay open now for a little, whatever. Guys, come up again. I'm being inconsistent here.
Yeah.
It's been a real rough morning. June, what up?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's crazy. It's crazy. And you know one thing though, I will say, like when Mark said it was supposed to be a running team, it's no. I didn't fall for that shit. As long as Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, this team was never going to be a run first team. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I hear you,
But I
Gene.
thought
But if you look at then why not at the start? Oh, go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
No, I'm on a delay.
No, Pete, go ahead. You haven't talked enough, man. Go ahead.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, all right, I'll go and then you. I hear what you're saying, June. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm just saying, looking at the offseason moves, it looked to me like they were going to have a commitment to make Brees Hall the focal point of the offense. And then they draft 2 more running backs with the changes on the line and a shift to gap power in Baltimore. Like, it's, I understand in hindsight, okay, well, you get Aaron Rodgers and then but the idea that Aaron Rodgers we said it, man, the idea that Aaron Rodgers was going to have over 40 attempts a game, like, I didn't want to see that kind of football out of the Jets. I wanted them to run the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's how you protect from the pass rush. Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
All right, you got me now. It's not on delay, thankfully.
Yeah, you're back.
No, I just, we talked a lot yesterday and today, and it's just, you got to start deep diving. I'm going to try and get some of these draft guys on now, and it's October 20, whatever it is now. It's a disgrace.
It's not even Halloween yet,
it's a
bro.
disgrace. I never thought it would be this bad. Never.
Let me ask you a question, Pete. So how do you fix the Jets? How do you fix what they've done wrong?
I don't know, Mark, because I think they're going to run it back. I really do. I'm not saying I'm for it.
You think Rodgers is back?
I don't know.
Ask me that question. That question's not for him, Mark. Ask me.
Well, June, I want to hear you, but I'm curious where. Okay, go ahead, June. How do they fix the team?
Blow it up. I'm sorry. Look, whether you keep Rodgers and run it back one more time, you got to blow it up eventually. Anyways, the minute he leaves, so just do it now. Do it now while you got people on your team who are worth some value that you can get something for. Once again, once this staff is done with at the end of this year, what credible coach is gonna come and try to fix all this shit that's wrong? If you ain't got no draft and you don't have anything, but you got a 40-year-old coach and the narrative is he runs the organization, you're gonna want to come deal with that shit?
June, that's a good point. Let me just chime in on this real quick. Okay, I hear you on